his calculations. Fox News national political reporter Paul Steinhauser. Paul, good morning to you.
Hey, great to join you guys.
You know, we have never seen a presidential debate during a pandemic. And so this is going to be different. Usually the two candidates walk in from opposite sides of the stage. There's a thunderous applause. There's only going to be 50, 60, 70 people in there, and they're not going to shake hands. And then Chris Wallace, once they're settled, is going to do what?
He will ask, there's no opening statements from either candidate. Wallace will just jump right into the 6 topics. So 6 of them over 90 minutes, 15 minutes for each. Here's how it works. Wallace will ask a question. Let's say they start with Supreme Court. He'll ask a question. Trump goes first, the president goes first, he'll have 2 minutes to answer, then Biden gets 2 minutes, and then that's where the fun begins, because both candidates can respond to each other, maybe try to change the conversation, maybe try to attack each other, and of course Wallace can jump in when he wants to redirect, ask another question, but try to stay on the same topic. And also, the commission said yesterday it's not really the moderator's job, either in this debate or the other remaining debates, to be a fact checker. You know, if the candidates want to call each other out, they can. If they want to call each other a liar, that's up to the candidates. It's really not the moderator's job to do that. So this should be fascinating tomorrow night.
Yeah, I remember not so long ago where a moderator actually did kind of fact check, and it helped President Obama greatly, ultimately. Apparently, Joe Biden, over the last number of days, has been practicing some of his lines just as the president has. And one of them is that Donald Trump is a liar. And he will do a little fact-checking, but he doesn't want to go down that rabbit hole. Ultimately, though, remember it was about a month or two ago when some people were saying, you know what, they need to have live fact-checking at the bottom of the screen. That's not going to happen.
Not going to happen. That's something that the former vice president did bring up, a couple weeks back. That is not going to happen, and it's up to the campaigns, and it's up to the candidates themselves if they want to. You know, if Biden wants to call the president out, that's its prerogative. The same thing for the president if he wants to call Biden out if there's a slip of the tongue by the former vice president. But I think it's fair to say Chris Wallace picked 6 topics right now that are right on the forefront of topics that have definitely, shaped this year dramatically.
And at the top of the list would be the Supreme Court. And apparently the Trump team would love to have the president engage Joe so that he attacks Amy Coney Barrett.
Yep. And, this is what's fascinating. On this issue, this is the one issue, I guess, where you could say both candidates have flip-flopped. Because if you go back 4 years ago to the Merrick Garland nomination, then Vice President Joe Biden called for a vote. At the same time, candidate Trump, he was the presidential candidate at that time, back in March of that year, right around the time when President Obama was naming Merrick Garland as his nominee, he said we should wait. So both candidates have actually changed their opinion on this issue. But yes, I'm not sure if this is going to be the first one to come up. But boy, this is such a combustible issue. Both candidates speaking out on this. The former vice president just yesterday once again urging the Senate to wait until we have a new president. That's not going to happen, obviously.
Exactly right. And the issue that impacts people all around the world is the global pandemic. Ultimately, we know that Joe Biden's just going to say that the federal government response under the direction of Donald Trump is the reason that over 200,000 people have died. But then at the same time, Donald Trump's going to come back and say, look, Joe, you were very critical of me when I turned off people flying in from China, and that actually worked.
Yep, both candidates. Listen, Biden consistently since March has lambasted this president over first for what he says was, downplaying the severity of the coronavirus and then botching the federal response. So you would expect he would continue to do that in this debate. He will also probably reemphasize his own plans, which he's laid out in the spring and the summer, of what he would do if he were president and what he will do in January if he's elected. And you just mentioned the president will definitely mention, the restricting of flights to China and Europe. He'll probably also bring up testing. The president has defended his testing for this country numerous times since the spring. It's something you would assume he'll bring up again. Also PPP and a few other things. Listen, both candidates definitely don't agree on this issue or any of these issues that they'll be debating tomorrow night.
Well, I think they will agree. They will each say they won at the end of the 90 minutes, which doesn't seem like enough time. Just saying. All right, Paul, thank you very much.
Hey, thank you.
All right.